Have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on in your head when you make a decision? I mean, any decision, from hitting the snooze button to picking one coffee over another to making a huge life-altering career move. Well, it turns out there might just be a single powerful equation that kind of governs every single choice you make. So let's pull back the curtain and take a look at the hidden formula that's been running your life. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This looks intense, maybe a little intimidating, right? But I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly what this means. This isn't just a jumble of letters. It's the secret logic behind your own intuition. See, at its absolute core, that crazy-looking formula boils down to something we all do instinctively. Every single choice has what's called a relative appeal, and your brain just calculates it by weighing all the good stuff against all the bad stuff. That's it. So let's break down what actually goes into each side of that mental balance scale. All right, first up, let's look at the positive side of things, the motivators. These are all the forces that are pulling you towards making a certain choice. Think of motivators as your brain's internal yes vote. For any decision, let's say deciding whether to go to the gym, the motivators are all the things pushing you out the door. And you can see they come in two main flavors. There are the tangible rewards, and then there are the more abstract values, which we'll get into in just a bit. So, the first piece of this puzzle is the potential reward. In the formula, that's R. This is the concrete, specific, good thing you're hoping to get out of it. If you go to the gym, a huge potential reward is that awesome feeling of accomplishment and energy you get afterwards. But, not all rewards are created equal, right? And that's where I for importance comes in. Feeling energetic is a reward, sure. But how much do you actually care about that feeling right now? If you're already buzzing with energy, its importance is pretty low. But if you're feeling sluggish, its importance is way, way high. And finally, for rewards, we've got P for probability. Your brain is like a tiny odds maker. It's constantly asking, okay, what are the chances I'll actually get this reward? Maybe you're trying a brand new workout, and you're not totally sure it'll make you feel energetic. That little bit of uncertainty, that probability, changes the entire weight of the reward. So here's the deal. Your brain multiplies these things together. A reward is only really motivating if you really, really want it and you believe you've got a good shot at getting it. And right there, that's the first secret to taking control. If you're procrastinating on something, it's almost always because either the importance is too low or the probability feels too low. If you can figure out which one it is, you can start to change the math, either by reminding yourself why that reward matters so much or by breaking the task into smaller pieces to make success feel way more likely. Okay, so we've covered the pros. Now let's flip over to the other side of the scale and talk about the cons, or what the formula calls demotivators. Yep, demotivators are your internal no vote. They're all the things pushing you away from a choice. Sticking with our gym example, a demotivator is the thought of how tired you're going to be, the hassle of just getting there, or thinking about the muscle soreness tomorrow. And just like with rewards, we start with the potential penalty. This is the specific bad thing that might happen. For the gym, the most obvious penalty is feeling super sore or just totally exhausted right after you're done. Then, of course, we have the importance of that penalty. How much do you dread feeling sore? Let's say you have a huge presentation tomorrow and you need to be sharp. Well, the importance of avoiding exhaustion is really high. But if you've got a lazy Sunday planned, maybe it's not such a big deal. And here we go again. Your brain starts playing the odds. What's the probability of this penalty? If you're just planning a light workout, the probability of being painfully sore is pretty low. But if you're planning to go all out and set a new personal record, that probability shoots way, way up. So just like with rewards, these factors get multiplied. The real demotivating power of a penalty isn't just about how bad it is, it's about how likely you think it is to actually happen. Your brain is constantly running this risk versus aversion calculation. And this gives you another powerful tool. When you're avoiding something, you can ask yourself, am I overestimating how bad the penalty really is? Or am I overestimating the chance of it even happening? A lot of the time, just questioning those subconscious assumptions is enough to shrink the demotivator right down and clear the path forward. So we've got rewards and we've got penalties. But there's this other, deeper layer to our decisions that isn't just about tangible outcomes. Let's talk about values. You see, our choices aren't just a simple cost-benefit analysis of feeling good versus feeling bad. They're also a reflection of who we are, or maybe who we're trying to become. Our principles and beliefs, they add a really powerful weight to this whole equation. Now, what's really fascinating here is the distinction this makes. Feeling healthy as a concrete outcome, right? It's something you feel. But the value of being a disciplined person, that's an abstract principle. So going to the gym aligns with that value, which gives it this extra motivational boost. And on the flip side, skipping the gym might conflict with that value, and that acts as a demotivator. And this is such a key term, salience. We all hold lots of values, but we don't think about all of them for every single choice. Salience, that's the S in the formula, is just how top of mind a value is in a particular moment. If you just read an article about the importance of discipline, well, then that value is going to be highly salient for your gym decision.
Okay, we've looked at all the individual parts, the rewards, the penalties, and the values. Now let's put it all back together and see how the final calculation happens.
And look, here it is again. But this time, it shouldn't look so scary, right? You can actually see all the pieces we just talked about. You can see the sum of all the rewards and positive values on one side, and the sum of all the penalties and negative values on the other. It's really just a formal, structured map of a good old-fashioned pro-con list. So here it is. This is the mental math your brain does in the blink of an eye. First, it tallies up every single reason to say yes, all the weighted rewards and positive values. At the exact same time, it adds up every reason to say no, all the weighted penalties and conflicting values. Then it just does one simple subtraction, the total yes pile minus the total no pile. And that final number, whether it's positive or negative, that's your decision. You know, the most amazing part of all this is that you're not sitting there with a calculator. Your brain runs this incredibly sophisticated emotional algorithm constantly for everything from choosing a snack to making a lifelong commitment. It's the subconscious software that drives our choices. So look, the crucial point here isn't to start plugging numbers into a formula. The real power comes from awareness. Just by understanding this framework, you can start to ask yourself way better questions. Why did I really make that choice? Was it a reward I was chasing, a penalty I was trying to avoid, or some deep value I was trying to honor? This equation, it's not just a theory, it's a whole new lens for looking at your own mind. So the next time you face a choice, whether it's big or small, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what are the real rewards and penalties I'm weighing here? What are the probabilities I'm assuming? And maybe most importantly, which of my core values is really driving this decision? Understanding the math, that's how you start to master the choice.